the links to my channel here over at subscribe. So the various other links. I was thinking, since World War II, everything has been run through like a binary filter of good or bad for the mainstream media by using the last big war as a template. And I kind of wonder how that has affected. It seems to have had its fingers in everything, including people like this who have a combination of Trump derangement syndrome and just flat out mental illness. So anti-white, anti-Trump cartoonist turns out to be a filthy degenerate. Wow, you're just telling me this. Who saw that coming? So Darian Bell, award-winning cartoonist, which also tells you a little bit about what kind of stuff gets awarded. Famous, though, I will say, was it Bezos at Washington Post? Some political cartoonist quit because she was submitting insane Trump derangement syndrome cartoons, and Washington Post, as well as the LA Times, their editor, their chiefs came out and said, yeah, it's time we have to be a little bit less biased. This is ridiculous. And, I'd be curious to look at the past 4 years of media across the board and see if they were much like Saturday Night Live. Were they just making fun of Trump and the Republicans, or were they ever venturing out to go after Kamala, who seems certifiably insane, or Biden, or anyone on the left whatsoever? And it's probably 90% anti-Trump, which is why the mainstream media is on the way out. And it really is. It's kind of interesting. It's fun to see it. It happened. It started to happen with the rise of the computer fast networking. This is like over 25 years ago when people got cable and DSL, and then the media had to go online very quickly, and they had to compete with everyone else, and the cost of startup of distribution suddenly dropped down to almost nothing. So he's famous for having TDS and calling the Trump supporters, of course, far-right Hugo Boss type of nonsense. In case you're not looking at the screen, the podium has the T, and it has the eagle flag over it, and it's the T in the circle, and I guess it's meant to resemble, World War II type of nonsense. And then on the left is the image of the artist, Darian Bell. So why are so many left-wingers, basically Epsteins? Or the left wing is just, what was that movie, Eyes Wide Shut, and Maria Abramovic and Spirit Cooking, and they've got the girl laying in a pool of blood, and Lady Gaga is in there. It's like, and they're painting on the walls in blood, and you look at all this kind of weird LARPing, and then you stop and go like, wait, why are you doing all this? Painting on the walls in blood, it's just cringy. This isn't like the innocent 1960s maybe, where this would be edgy. I see somebody doing this in the past 30 years. I go, oh, you did a bunch of cocaine, and you just got inspired to do this kind of stupid LARPy stuff. Maybe it's tied in with the Biden stuff, where they make these artworks, and they maybe they insure them, or maybe they just overvalue them and they're used as money laundering. Maybe there's something like that in there. But I think a lot of it is these bored people who just do a lot of drugs, and they're looking for like the new experience. So they seem obsessed with virtue signaling over their anti-white racism, and their whole worldview is that they're victims, and then so often they turn out to be the most toxic abusers, these Epstein types. And the odd thing is, so many people who go after Trump get their lives destroyed because they weren't great people to start with, and people start, if you're an ex-prawn star, or who's that other attorney who's in prison now for tax fraud, people start investigating them because the story becomes you, and all of a sudden it turns out that they've got a lot of skeletons in their closet, and now they wish that they had not started this because there's too many spotlights on them, and people go, oh, you've got some tax evasion here, all this kind of other stuff that would have slipped under the rug, but because they couldn't help themselves from going after Trump, people find out, oh, you guys are absolutely evil. And when Alyssa Milano, I think she was the one who started Me Too several years ago, everyone in Hollywood that got accused, and some actually got busted, were far left-wing, globalist, virtue signaling Hollywood blowhards. And it turns out that they were also deeply left wing, not, Hillary Clinton supporters and Obama supporters, and they're the Weinstein and Neil Gaiman are taking their pictures with Oprah Winfrey, and like you look at it, it's like, oh, so everyone here has a D after the name. They're all supporting Democrats in the DNC one way or another. It's like when you started a Me Too thing to get rid of Hollywood degenerates, like who did you think you were going to get? Some far right wing Christian Republicans who are producers and directors? That's just not what Hollywood is all about. Hollywood's been degenerate for a long time, and God bless Alyssa Milano, because she's so dumb she doesn't know what she did. And I'm sure behind the scenes, people were telling her, "Oh yeah, I don't know if we want to go down this path." And so what happened was, after a few years of Me Too, it just disappeared. Nobody thinks that's kind of odd. It just they got a bunch of people to the point where even there are a couple of magazine articles talking about it. They go, yeah, everyone in Hollywood's a far left wing, like Clinton or Obama or DNC supporter one way or the other, and they're all kind of taking pictures together, and it's starting to make us look really bad. It's like, oh, what do we do? Oh, why don't we just stop it? Oh, okay, it was just that easy. Like, but what about the victims of the abuse? Screw them. And that's what happened. So why does the left wing abuse women and children? The big part of the answer is the left is a side of permissiveness and mindless hedonism, where they have much higher rates of sociopathic behavior because they have no guiding dogma other than Bolshevism, I suppose, or whatever New Age garbage is in vogue at the time. Balenciaga, do as thou wilt. And Balenciaga, that was what a mask off moment that was. And what happened with them? Nothing, I think. Yeah, nothing happened. And the reason is religion and conservatism, because the right is more Christian, or even if they're atheist or pagan or whatever, they are still more conservative than the left, because that's kind of the division between the right and the left. And nationalism is caring about your tribe first in a stable society and taking care of kids. So the right has more guidelines than the left. And I know if they're listening to this, they would be very upset about that. And where there are occasionally filthy degenerates on the right, they're called out. It's like with all religions of the world, nobody is doing evil as Christians, because if they are, then they're going against the teaching of the New Testament. They're literally going against what Christ taught. Where they do evil in the names of other religions that we won't mention in the comments, they're fundamentally following the words in the Holy Book that tell them to do those things. So there's a huge difference, and that Christianity is unlike any other religion in that regard, maybe except for, was it Jainism? Anyway, so you can see the direction the left, I mean, like how many members are in that? 12 members or something. You can see the direction left wing is going with this BLT permissiveness. Everything is okay if it feels good. Love is love, and love has no number, and we can get married and pay for children, buy children from women. What do you call those when I don't know, surrogacy? Is that what it's called? And exclude the mother from the child's life. And the kids know what they are, unless they think they're a dragon, because that's just nonsense. But what if my son thinks he's a dragon one day, and then the next day he thinks he's a little girl because someone in kindergarten told him that? Oh, well, it's time to get him on some hormones. What are you kidding? I dressed up as Satan when I was a kid. I loved my pitchfork and my red cloak with the collar, and I love that. Did I really think I was? Maybe I was young enough. I don't know, demon or something. It was just fun. It's just childhood nonsense, childhood nonsense. No. We gotta get you on some hormones if you find your kid putting on mom's lipstick because he sees his sister do it or something. It's like, it doesn't mean anything to the kids. He's just mimicking behavior. If he sees his sister's projecting there, no, actually I'm not. If he sees his sister doing something like that, they're gonna do that. They're gonna mimic it. It doesn't mean anything to the kids, and vice versa. If your daughter's playing with the boys around her because she likes to play sports a little bit more and play soccer, oh well, better get her on testosterone and remove her mammary glands. Like, no, that's insane. That's 99% of girls who are tomboys grow up, and as soon as they hit puberty, They fall in love with boys, and that they still might be a little tomboyish, but they get married and they have kids, and they breastfeed their kids because that's the point of having mammary glands. It's like, honestly, this path we're going down is absolutely, it shocks me more and more. I mean, at this point, people need Jesus and Mars. I think you're going to need a combination, or Aries. I think you're going to need a combination of a little bit of the sword. So the thing is, they say that kids know who they are, and they can cross dress and take hormones and have surgery to sterilize themselves. And so like 30 years ago, that industry didn't exist. Maybe there was like one hospital that dealt with that. And today it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, which means, follow the money. Who benefits is there's a lot of money flowing around, kind of the human misery machine. So when there's money flowing around, you really have to look at people's motives, because we're talking about billions of dollars. And the doctor who has the new, $140,000 sports car, does he really have your best interests at heart, or does he want the sports car? No. Don't worry about it. He's fair and impartial, but he just wants a new hot tub put in. Obviously, this is like a lot of doctors are sociopaths as well. So that means if the kids can consent to that, well, then the slippery slope is logically, if kids can consent to doing that to themselves, and obviously they can't, well, they can consent to, Epstein type of abuse. And the left is full of Sodom and Gomorrah type of stuff because they don't believe in anything. And they jump on board the latest fad. And the left has these kind of like crystal religious fads. Kabbalah was big, or Buddhism, or whatever other kind of gurus and nonsense they jump into, and they interpret it any way they want, as long as it kind of lets them be the god of their own world. So this cartoonist is essentially mad at the authority figure, the father figure, the person who would prevent him from abusing children, which so many people on the left are eager to do. And Trump represents the evil Hugo Boss, voice of authority, who we're all Hugo Boss if we want to prevent people from abusing children, either by this kind of prawn type of stuff, or by putting kids whose brains aren't fully developed on cross-sex hormones, and then removing healthy functioning body parts. That's crazy. Like, most of the world views that as crazy. Through most of human history, we'd view that, like a cancerous lymph node has got a little cancer, you're going to pull that out? No. We're talking about like perfectly functioning because they think there's something else. Oh, well, they don't really think there's something else. That's a social contagion, mostly caused by the media. No, it's totally serious. Your 9-year-old knows that they're the other sex or something. No, they don't. That's crazy. Why is everyone taking crazy pills? It's like, well, that's a good question. It's kind of the end result of generational brainwashing, mostly through the TV. And people don't see it because you're looking at a small segment of time of the TV, your lifetime, and it's like you don't see that much of a woke change. But if you look at TV since post-war, you'll notice this slow incremental change pushing the window left and left and left, anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-nation, anti-stability. And so it gets us to where we are now. Like, do you think we're here organically? No. The greatest influence, the greatest propaganda machine is TV. I don't think anything has come close to it. And you'd think there'd be, I don't know, some shows, some movies on the power of propaganda, but it's like the blank spaces on the maps, the stuff they don't make videos about or movies or talk about, periods of time and such things. That's the stuff that you want to set your sails for that blank spot on the map, and they try to get you away from there. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to everyone over at the SubScribe Star, and I will see you guys all next episode.